Is that me? I just want them bad. I just want them bad. I just want them bad boys. I just want them bad. I just want them bad. I just want them bad. I just want them bad boys.
All right, we're back, and we're back again for a brand new week of Unsecured, when we're talking about all things final season Insecure, whether it is Issa doing the things that Issa does, whether it's Molly doing the things that Molly does, or Lawrence being a deadbeat. Whatever it is, we're all here for it. So we're gonna talk about it today. So what are you watched? I know, because we were talking a little bit before. You don't like Lawrence. So I'm gonna lead with that. I'm gonna lead with the fact that you don't like Lawrence anyways before I get your opinion on everything that happened. Do you want to recap for people that maybe didn't watch it, what happened this episode?
So this episode was all about Lawrence. What happened in between? So let me just backtrack. The end of episode 1 ended with Issa breaking up with Lawrence.
Lawrence, I had a chance to think, and
yeah, I know.
Then when we get to episode 2, we fast forwarded a year. So we're kind of like, well, what happened to Lawrence? Where's Lawrence been at for a year? So this was that episode that really got a deep dive into what's been going on with Lawrence. And we got to catch up and see all that's going on with him and Condola. And I'm going to surprise you because you think I'm going to bash Lawrence tonight, but I'm actually not.
Really? Oh, because it's going to switch a little bit for me. It's going to switch because I still like Lawrence, but I have some questions. That's what I'm gonna say. So if you watch it, you see that the baby has been born. Mm-hmm. They calling him Mufasa, but his name is Musa.
I thought that was so funny. I actually wrote that in my notes. I love his homeboy. That's one of my favorite characters on the show. By the way,
I do too. I wouldn't want to date him, but he's one of those characters that makes the show better. Like, he's a needed character.
Like, he's that comic relief that you need every now and again. Yes,
agreed. Like, I think well, they started talking about spinoffs potentially. They talked to Prentice Penny, who is the showrunner for Insecure, and one of the things that came up was whether or not they're going to do spinoffs. So maybe he gets a show.
He's on that show that comes on after SWAT. Navy SEALs, I think.
Is he on Navy SEAL?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only know of the show because it came on after SWAT and I saw him and I was like, oh, that's the funny dude from Insecure. Yeah, he was like a hostage in a hostage situation.
Okay. Well, he probably did. Man.
He didn't die though. He didn't die. He's like a main character.
Because black people we don't last real long on those shows.
But nowadays they need one token black character.
They do.
He's the token black guy, I think.
He's still a hostage.
No, I think he just was in that moment that I caught.
Okay, he was a SEAL. He just was.
He's a Navy SEAL, I think. I don't know.
Okay, got you. I didn't know if he was hostage number 1 or I wasn't really.
No, I think he's like a Navy SEAL, but he was on a mission and he got taken. Long story short, I would be happy because he's funny. I like him.
Okay. I think he deserves it. I will talk about that in a minute, who we think should get the spinoff. But in this episode, we see the baby. We see Elijah, who is actually the baby's first name. I think his name is Elijah. And how him and Condola parent, because they're co-parenting because they're not together. So they've decided, in the last season that they were going to break up. He found out she was pregnant. She decided she was going to keep the baby, which came back up once they blew up in the argument. And we see that Lawrence is being very distant, daddish. First of all, I think so. He doesn't live there.
I disagree.
Why?
Okay, so I disagree because it's such a messy situation from the very beginning. Like he had said, he did take the job before he found out that she was pregnant, 1. Okay. 2, he found out after you two had already broken up. So this wasn't a situation where they were a couple, she got pregnant. This was I moved on. I'm back with my ex. Oh shoot, my ex comes back and tells me she's pregnant. I personally think that that he's handling it really actually quite well, considering he didn't want the baby, but he is trying to step up. I do feel like he's trying to step up. I do. Okay. For a man to even say, I'm gonna fly home every single weekend, jokers be in the next block over and don't even come see their kids. So I feel like Condola was wrong. She could have texted that man when she was in labor. You waited until after the baby was born. That was dirty. Don't tell me you couldn't have, because I done had 2 kids and my labors were painful and I still could have sent a text. I still would have been calling Faraji, period. So she was wrong for that. She didn't really care about the baptism, but she still took over that. Like, it's just like, don't get me wrong, I understand her side too. You're home alone, you're taking care of a baby, your body has went through all these things. So I see both perspectives, but I don't personally think that she's handling it in a way that's productive for the baby. Like, I think they needed to come to a head, because now he needs to figure out, like, San Francisco is not going to work. What are you going to do?
I see. So here's where I am. I agree with you. I think that when she didn't call him when she went into labor, that was foul. Like, you can't do that. It's his baby. Just because you carry it. I think sometimes women do that though, because it's like, I am carrying this baby. Like, your contribution has been so minimal that, you know, I'm carrying the baby. I'm doing all this work. I'm creating this. I'm cooking in this oven and you just over there playing PlayStation. So I think that women do feel like a more ownership over the baby. Yeah. It was wrong though. You can't do that. It's 50-50. It's just as much his baby as it is your baby. So that was fucked up. That was foul. But
if she can't, I feel like she can't pretend like they were a couple when she got pregnant. Well,
do you think that that's her problem?
I personally think that it plays a role in it, because she's mad, because I think I forgot what she has said, but she was like, "Oh, I thought you would like get back to me," or something, like whatever he said to her.
Oh yeah, when they were in the car,
right? And so that showed me that you're still holding on to the fact that you didn't have someone there to rub on your belly while you were pregnant, or massage your feet, or go to those doctor's appointments with you. And rightfully so. I understand as a woman, you feeling that way. But sweetheart, you knew that situation when you decided to keep this baby, that this man is not going to be there for you in the way that a woman wants a man to be there for her, especially for her very first pregnancy, breaking it down. Right. I don't mean no harm. I've never gotten an abortion, but I don't think I would keep a baby, my first baby, by a dude that doesn't even want a baby, like that I'm not even in a relationship with. It's like, we don't even have a fighting chance for this kid to grow up in a home with 2 parents. Like, not that it always works out in a 2-parent household, but we're not even starting. Like, I don't want to start there. You know what I mean? Like, me, that's just me though. Miss Martian.
I mean, I think you're right. Now that I look at it, she might be carrying some of that, you know, like, you broke up with me, or it didn't work out, like that anger towards him, and she's taking it out on him and the baby without her even knowing it. But I think that Lawrence, his effort was minimal. I think she gave resistance and he didn't do a whole lot of trying. Like, so once he got that resistance, it was like, but you know, it's so hard. Like, I'm like, that's not.
I mean, this is Lawrence, he has a history of having a low emotional IQ.
These steep ass hills.
You're lucky you're cute. That's stupid.
I'll take stupid and cute.
True.
He doesn't have a high emotional IQ. He just doesn't. This is Lawrence. No, I mean, we saw how he handled his frustration in the episode. Frustrated, let me call the chick to bang out real quick. Like, that's how he handles his emotions. When him and Issa broke up, he became a man whore. Like,
I think it was just because they had been together. I think everybody does it. When you've been in a long-term relationship for a very long time, everybody.
It's time to have some fun.
Yeah, everybody become a little bit of a thought. That's what you do. You thought it out.
But I think that he just felt like from the very beginning, she was trying to push him out. And I could see that. Like, we as women are like, no, fight for me. And men aren't thinking like that. They just don't have that intelligence. But they're like, she wants me to fight for her. They're like, oh my God, she doesn't want me around, so I'm just gonna not come around. You know what I mean? Like, the way he told his homeboy, like, that was truly how he felt. Like, she doesn't want me here. Like, I have no input, no say. And then he knows he wasn't there during a pregnancy. So it's like, well, damn, well, what leg do I have to stand on? Because I'm not here. I'm not there.
But I think that was part of it, that guilt. I think he felt guilty, and because she gave the resistance and she had a legitimate reason, like, you're not here. So he just went, because I think a lot of absent dads, because my dad wasn't around when I was growing up. I knew who he was, but he wasn't there. So I think as we grew up, you could feel this guilt. And when I started talking to him as I got older, it was like, I didn't come around because, I felt bad, and it started to be like, I don't want to be in an uncomfortable situation, so I'm going to avoid it. I feel like that's what Lawrence did. I feel like he did as much as he could to avoid it. Now, Condola didn't make it any better. I think two wrongs don't make a right, and both of these people were wrong.
Yeah, I feel like he's putting in a lot of effort, though. You're flying out every weekend. You're there. He missed 1 week. Well, from what we can see right now, he missed 1 weekend because of work. That's life. That's gonna happen. Granted, it sucks, but this is just a crappy situation. He lives in a complete, like, hours away. Now, I can't wait to see what he decides. I'm hoping that he'll decide to come back. I feel like he will, because something has to come to head with him and Issa too. Like, something has to happen. But this is a guy who, we got to get this dude some credit, because, think about it. How many dudes would not be there at all if a chick came to them after they broke up and was like,
True.
I'm pregnant. Jokers don't even be there when, look at Summer Walker. She was with London on the track for 2 years.
True.
Now she whole albums about how she the fourth baby mama. I'm like, well, what's wrong with all the baby mama? 4?
Yeah, that's a
you
lot
couldn't
of
make
baby
it
mamas.
work with any of them. Come on.
That's a lot of baby mamas. But it's also another element in this relationship that makes it difficult, and it's the sister and the mom. So Leela came, like, shout out to Leela Rashawn, way into
But mom was chill. Mom was chill. For a mom, she was chill. It was the sister.
Yeah, Kyra. So, which is funny, because remember, Keke Palmer was talking a lot of shit about Condola online. I mean, not the real Condola, but the character Condola online. She was talking a lot of shit about her. So it's funny that she ended up playing her sister. What do you think about the sister? Like, how would you handle the sister, or you think Condola should have handled the sister?
Unfortunately, Condola kinda in some way feels like her sister is like, you know how you have like that angel and devil on your shoulders? Her sister is kind of like that devil who can kind of feed all that negative energy that she already feels toward him. It's kind of like your homegirl is egging you on, that homegirl that your boyfriend or husband hates, because he's like, nah, she the one that's gonna pop up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's her sister. And I get it. Sometimes you need that, but you also need somebody to counter that. So if you have one of those friends, you always need the rational friend to be like, don't listen to her. Every now and again you need a pull-up girl, but sometimes you need your rational friend. She's not that rational sister at all.
Do you think people just dislike Condola? Because I feel like in this particular situation with Lawrence and Condola, I feel like her sister was standing up for her in a way that we didn't have. Because think about it, she's exhausted. She is doing everything, and you see the side by side. He's going to work. Oh, I'm a little tired from work, but I'm like, she's got the baby, and she I don't know if she's supposed to be at work now, or I don't know how that works.
She might be on maternity leave.
Maybe that's what's going on. But she's not sleeping. We see her going to sleep on the toilet. Like, she's doing all of this stuff, and he's just bare minimum. Like, he gets a little tired, he can't take a flight, he like, oh, well, I'll just do it next time. Like, Lawrence, you can't be.
But again, this is so fresh and new. Fresh and new. I feel like and for me to even say this about Lawrence, I'm not being biased. He needs time. He needs time. This is so new. Think about back to your first baby. Even being the mom, it took time to get used to adjusting to even the amount of time I need to spend to get out the house every day. Like, oh snap, I gotta account for the fact that I have a little person now. Like, just adjusting to parenthood is a big adjustment. You got a man who had his whole life thinking it was going one direction to have his life blown up, as he called it. I think we just gotta give him some time. I think
this is his immaturity, though. I think this is his immaturity peaking back up, and this is the downfall of Lawrence. This is the one thing about Lawrence that I think is problematic in his character when they wrote it, and I think he does a really good job of showcasing that immaturity, but also showcasing his minimal growth in his emotional state. But this is immaturity.
So, do you want him to get back with Issa?
I do.
Oh!
I do still. And the reason why is because Issa is also immature. So when you look at those two characters, they are like the same. One is female, one is male, but they really are a very similar character.
That sounds so disastrous to me, personally. It's like a walking train wreck. It's like, what? No, I don't feel like there's growth in that. You need somebody, so you need a little difference. There's no growth when we're the same.
I feel like they are.
He doesn't
they're
challenge
very
her
similar
to me, but and that's the problem. Like, does he challenge her? You think he does?
I think he does because
Really?
I think Lawrence definitely challenged Issa because I don't think Issa would be the person she is today without Lawrence.
Oh, well, that's definitely. I mean, you can't be with somebody for 5 years and not like shape in some way who you are, for sure.
So I think that they have a nice balance. Like when I say that they're the same character, but one is male and one is female, I mean, a lot of the issues that Lawrence has, Issa can be. Like she's very in tune, I feel like, with most people's feelings. Like she knows, like, okay, something is up with this person.
Yeah.
Like what's going on? Like even with the Kelly situation, it was sort of like, okay, what's the deal with this? What's going on with you? I think he needs her, and in the way that it is, I think they're really on the same level. Now, whether or not they're going to end up together, I hope that they do, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't know.
He needs her energy bad right now. I don't know if he needs her energy in terms of
As
a
a
lover.
friend?
Exactly. I feel like he definitely needs her energy as a friend right now. Definitely.
Can you date? I mean, can you be a friend with somebody you dated?
Not when you're still in love. No, probably not. But I feel like, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I personally don't want her with him. We'll see that. I want to see Lawrence, his character, grow into like being a father. I want that to be like the focus of his character, not and growing into being a mature man. I don't even think his focus should even be Issa.
True.
Because he like, you got a whole kid out here.
Maybe that's the end. Maybe they all will kind of like go their own separate way, and we'll see them kind of like all end up in a really great place. When you saw the party incident, who was at fault there? Was that Lawrence or was that Condola?
So it's so funny that you asked me this because my sister literally called me about this incident today. I would have okay, so in my own experience as a mom, I would have been upset if it had been anyone other than their dad to introduce something new to them. If it was dad, I would have been like, really? We didn't discuss this, but I wouldn't have blown up on him. If it would have been anybody else, I would have, because you did not discuss this with me. This is not your child. Okay. But I felt like Condola definitely blew up. He definitely didn't understand. And that was the thing. He just didn't get it. It's like, Condola, you're thinking from this very high place of being a mom. He doesn't understand that. How about you start with maybe even get him a baby book? Like, you know what? I see you're putting in effort, but I wanted to just get you this little nugget. Here you go. Like, it's okay to think outside the box, Condola. I get it, you're in your feelings and you're frustrated too, but we want to make this a better situation for everybody, mainly little Mufasa.
Yeah, little Mufasa, it was okay. You know, them carrots was gonna be all right. You know, I don't know too many people allergic to carrots. Like, you know what I mean? But I think that
it wasn't peanuts.
It wasn't.
You know, it wasn't shrimp.
Right. Well, I was like, "Ooh, a baby that young eating that's
but you know what I mean? Like the stuff that like people are typically allergic.
Black people do eat. They eat chicken and all of that.
Yeah, but I think my mom had gave my babies like mashed potatoes. I wasn't like mad, but I was like, Mom, I want to give them mashed bananas.
Right. Like, at least let them not have the flavor before you give them the flavor, and then they don't want the baby food. But I think that Prentice Penny, I think is his name. He, like, as I was mentioning him earlier, they were talking about the characters are very much based after him. He's also a writer. And he said that he's a dad, and his first child, he said he was very much go with the flow. And that's sort of like, he wanted to really showcase that in Lawrence. Like, he's just kind of like this, I'm going with the flow, whatever happens. And then he said with his second child, he was really into it. Like, you know, I want to know what they ate today. How many times did they go to the bathroom? Like, I was in tune. And I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah.
I think also they did a really good job of showcasing the difference between moms and dads. Dads get patted on the back for doing things that they should do. I think way too many people give dads and fathers a pass. Like, oh, he didn't know. Neither did she. Like, this
Facts.
baby didn't come with a manual. Like, when I tell you when I had my baby, I was like, are y'all really gonna let me walk out the hospital with this baby? Like,
I feel like my baby kind of did come with a manual because I got one of those baby books. It was like real thick, and it was like I could like write for each month, and it told me like what to expect each month. I'm like, I got a baby manual. I just found it the other day. I was like,
oh,
my baby's 8, y'all. For the record, my baby's 8, so you know. He told me he's a man. So
okay, you're man, you're little man.
But you take $5 from me every Friday, please. Have several seats.
It's like this is little job. This is little paycheck.
It is. But no, honestly, I agree with you. Parenthood is hard, and it is true. Dads do get a pat on the back for doing the bare minimum. Like, a dad could be late to work and say, I was late because the baby was crying, and everyone would be like, oh, that's so cute. And if a woman's late to work, it's like, so you should have been here on time.
You should have woke up earlier. Yeah.
But y'all awed him. Like, this literally happened to me before. So I was like really offended.
I was like, I could feel that.
Like,
it was
I wasn't late, but I was just mad because this boss was late, like by like 30 minutes to a meeting, and he actually came with the baby because the baby was crying and he wanted to leave her with the babysitter. And everyone was like, oh my god, that's so sweet. And I was just in there like, if this would have been a woman who came up here with her baby to a meeting, her first meeting with her staff, could you imagine that?
No. They were like, she's so unprofessional. She doesn't like it. It's always a double standard. Okay. And I think that they did a really good job. I think they did an amazing job of showcasing that double standard. And I think that's why they did the side by side, so that you could see the double standard in between what new moms are expected to do versus what new dads are. Now, I'm not saying don't come to me saying I have my kid. I'm not saying all dads are like that. I'm not saying that all dads aren't in their child's life. However, there's a majority of the childbearing and raising falls on the mom.
It does.
In a lot of situations. But I'm not saying, because I know dudes who have been taking care of babies by themselves. So I know that it's not
and
just.
And I know dudes who want to be there, and baby mama, for whatever reason, just doesn't want him there because he doesn't want to be with her. That's a whole other story. Bitter baby mama. Thanks, by the way, to Summer Walker for that song, Bitter. I was like, that is so true. No one's ever wrote a song about that, like how the women can be the bitter ones and like try to keep the kid from the dad just because he doesn't want to be with her. Like, those are real things too. Like, we can't. It's not just like one size for all. Black men just don't want to take care of their kids. I just don't agree with that.
And I think this is also, you brought up a good point with Lawrence trying, and Condola kind of like, you know, even with the last name thing, she gave the child his last name. However, she was like, oh, well, I'm like doing you a favor that I would even give him your last name.
Because you lit me to sperm.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
And I think that they did a good job with that, like showcasing.
Why didn't they talk about the name together?
They didn't talk about anything. The bad with I know that would have pissed off a lot of people that she planned that and she didn't include him or his family, which is problematic.
So did they not talk at all during the pregnancy itself? That's what I'm confused about.
It doesn't appear that they did. It seems like she just kind of like planned everything, and I think that's a part that
why she's upset
with Lawrence, because I think she may have given him some resistance because they weren't together, probably a little bit bitter, like I finally
uncomfortable too.
Right. Yeah, it's like I finally have this baby, and now, because I think with her ex, didn't she want a baby or something like that, and it didn't happen.
Her ex-husband, yep.
I finally have this baby, and now I don't have the family. And so she was a little angry with him, and I think a little bitter with him. And I think he just went, I don't like this feeling. Yeah. And he's pulled away. And she's like, I've been here this whole time by myself. You off in La La Land doing you. I don't like it. But we're going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was like thinking, like, I feel like I need to go back to like that episode when they broke up, because I remember like when they were dating, they were actually like a decent couple when they were dating. It was just kind of like he had saw Issa or something like that, and they like what was it? Like, why did it? I know it had something to do with like old feelings with Issa, but what exactly was it?
You know what? I was just thinking that before we got on here. I was like, their relationship was like a blur to me. Like, I know they meshed well, but it was a blur to me.
I remember good sex scenes.
Right. But it was pretty blurry to the point where I was like, okay.
I remember Issa started working with Condola, right? And it got kind of weird.
Wait, no. I think that's what it
Or was that before they started dating? That's when they first started dating.
So what happened was I think Lawrence and Issa started kind of like rekindling.
Right.
Because Condola and Lawrence kind of had a little bit of a break. And I think from there, it was like, okay, I can't do this. I want to say that she slipped up or something and said something where Issa kind of was like, wait a minute, you dating Condola or whatever. I think something like that happened where Lawrence was like, yeah, this not going.
Yeah, I remember them dating because I remember she was at the baby shower and all that stuff. I'm gonna go back and watch it because now I feel like I need to know
too. Because I know they broke up in her kitchen. She had like friends over.
Right, it was like a Thanksgiving, I think, and he just got scared. So she again. So if you go back to their relationship, they were in a good space. He got scared because really it was Issa, but she didn't. She kind of had a feeling that it was Issa. So I mean, it's a lot of reasons why Condola her feelings. Because like, dude, I was kind of like in love with you. And this whole time, you were like still pining after your ex.
Yeah, you was in love, and they were talking behind her back.
With. Oh my gosh, even weirder.
Right, and they were talking behind her back, and it was a very awkward situation that was taking place. But I feel like there's this pull between Lawrence and Issa, maybe because they've been together so long, maybe because they were so young when they got together. But there's this pull that they keep coming back together, and that's why I was like kind of like magnets. Even though that's not always a good thing. Sometimes
we was magnets for 12 years, and Lord,
so
I don't know what I was thinking for 12 years.
You saw me like,
like some crack.
You start wondering about yourself and your own sanity.
Who am I?
Yeah, really, who am I? And I think this episode really does showcase more about Condola, because I know people did not like Condola. They call her Controller. They call her all types of names.
I didn't dislike Condola. You know why? Because she had Lawrence.
I didn't dislike Condola.
I wanted Lawrence to be taken by somebody else.
I didn't. I wanted to get back with Issa, but I think
want Issa to find a new man.
She might. So when we saw, it wasn't. What was he in this? The ads. I don't think he was in the thing. Crenshaw in the new trailer.
They were texting. She talked about him.
Yeah, but I think he might have said some stuff.
I think so, but that sounds like something that make Issa like him.
That's true. That's true. But we see her with a bunch of different. Ryan Davis is in this.
Yes.
So we see her with a bunch of different men. So perhaps Ryan Davis could be the next man. Yeah.
Do you? Because when I looked at episode 4, like the preview, do you feel like these 4 episodes have felt cohesive? Or do you just like them as standalone?
I agree with you. I think it's kind of choppy.
Okay.
But I think that the reason why it's choppy is because we got to catch up, because, you know, they did it the black way. They skipped a year, you know, and so now we got to find out what's happening. And they're following each person on these journeys, as opposed to last season. It's just kind of like, it goes from day 1 to whenever the season ends. So
I was making sure I wasn't tripping, because I was like, I like every episode, but it's
choppy.
I think just leaving episode 3 and then looking at that party beach scene for episode 4 just felt really weird.
Now I will say that will be a huge adjustment.
It is like, what?
But this is a different show. Like,
because it was such a solemn episode to like a Cancun type episode. So I'm just like, okay, that's interesting.
But I guess that's also another thing. They're showing how maybe this is their way of pulling them apart. They're showing where Issa is versus where Lawrence is, and maybe they're in 2 different worlds where it's like, you can't mesh this together. Like, we're just in 2 totally different headspaces. Like, I'm in Cancun getting my back blown out. You over here crying about a crib. Like, we are not.
And why would Issa want that life for herself?
Because she's not happy in that one.
I know, but to be there with somebody else's baby, and Condola is just the type of baby mama that I wouldn't want my baby to have.
Issa.
I know, but I just feel like because she's so controlling already, I just feel like she would be the type that would get on my nerves. Like you know what I mean? Like, she would be really extra every time she comes over. Don't you think you need to proof these corners? You know what I mean? Like that type. And you'd be like, you know what I mean?
I think once a couple months pass, she go, you get out of there. You like, whatever.
Some
do
women
whatever you
do.
need.
Some women get worse.
That is true. Some of them do. I'm hoping Condola don't. Condola, I got faith in you, but I'm hoping that Issa could maybe be a bridge between the two because she does like Issa, where she can be like, "Women, Lawrence, you look what you're doing. You kind of
like
pushing
Issa,
yourself
but
away."
She like Issa now that she's with her baby daddy. That's another thing.
Not. Yeah, you know that's probably not. You right.
See?
You right.
Like, so you're the reason why my son can't have a family. Like, oh shit.
That's true. Even though it ended where he almost, which I've had that experience with on a plane with the turbulence.
Mm-hmm.
Woo, it will make you think.
I saw lightning. I was literally watching lightning. I was like, bruh. I felt like I was in Manifest.
I hadn't been on a plane in a very long time. It happened to me twice. So one time it was a storm. I don't know. I guess I thought I was a celebrity or something. From Baltimore to Virginia Beach, I took a flight. Thought I was like Rihanna or some shit.
2.5 hour drive, y'all.
And it was a storm. It was a terrible storm. It was so much for a 45-minute flight. It was so much turbulence, and I was like, "This was a mistake."
Like, why did I drive that 2.5 hours?
Right. I was like, what was I thinking? And then to San Antonio, went to the point where I'm sitting next to people. They say, like, "I hope they can find the black box." I'm like, "Don't." What are you saying?
The black box.
No. I'm already in panic because I hate flying anyway. And you, so like fucking white people, like is he taking pictures and like?
I did take pictures of the lightning.
I don't want to see my death. I was like, I'd rather.
I was in awe, and Faraji was asleep, so I felt like I needed to capture it so that he could see.
I don't want to see that. What is it? That true destination or what a final destination? No.
Speaking of, I saw one of those trucks with all the trees cut down on the back of it on Liberty Road. But why none of us were driving behind it? Everybody was like the opposite lane. I was like, I had to take a picture because none of us will drive behind this freaking truck. No, that movie messed up everybody Thank
forever.
you, Final Destination 5, by the way.
No one will ever drive behind a truck. But speaking of kind of like figuring things out and messing things up, do you think it would be messed up if they do spinoffs?
Spinoffs sometimes do work. I'm waiting to see what happens with this Dance of the Dragons.
Okay.
Not Dance of the Dragons. Oops, sorry. House of the Dragon. With like Game of Thrones.
Okay.
I don't know. Sometimes they work, sometimes they just don't. Vampire Diaries. They did spin off of Vampire Diaries, which was the originals. I like the originals. I don't watch the Vampire Diaries. So sometimes it really does work. Raising Kanan was pretty good.
That was decent. It was
Ghost
decent.
Power Book 2 was pretty good. I actually like Tariq now.
Shout out to Brandy Denise, who was on the Power and Power Book 2, but I couldn't get into that. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, Tariq. I can't.
He is his father's son now. It's like it all makes sense. I felt like things are coming full circle.
I can't. I was like, once it was no more ghosts on there, I was like,
that's the same exact thing I said. I said I was gonna hate it, and then I watched it, and I was like, oh, like they did a really good job of casting other characters to make it like really feel. It felt like it wasn't a new show. It's just like a continuation, which is good because I didn't want a new show. I just want a continuation.
I watched it and I couldn't.
Really?
I could not do it.
Did you get
with
through the
Mary
whole thing?
And yep, I was like, I can't do it.
I like Mary. Oh my goodness.
No, I started dancing. Like I just started doing the Mary. I was like, I can't. It's just not for me. It's not for me.
I didn't finish Raising Kanan.
I love that though.
And I liked the Tariq one more.
Did you? I like that one better. It's funny.
I like the acting though.
Okay.
In Raising Kanan, I think the acting is really good. Yeah, it's really good acting.
It's a different. I think Power has like a low threshold of acting anyway. But I think
exactly
that's why I think I like the other spinoff better. But if they do a spinoff with Insecure, I think it should be Kelly. I think we don't know a lot about Kelly. I think.
But if they do Kelly, then they would have to do Tiffany. And do they get along?
I think that would be a great dynamic, though. Wouldn't that make a great storyline to see?
I mean, like in real life, Issa and Amanda Seals, they kind of have like some little stuff.
Tiffs. Yeah.
So that's why I'm wondering if like Amanda Seals,
You're right, because I don't think she was going to come back.
like, is she gonna even want to work with her like in the future? Or is this like a, all right, we're done type situation?
You might be right, but Issa did stand up for her when all the stuff was going down. She stood up for her. So I don't know, because Amanda Seals is kind of like all over the place. Like some days she likes certain people, some days she don't. So I guess it just depends. But
she kind of reminds me of what's that chick name who's on Twitter? The rapper chick. What's her name? That's always saying stuff about everything. Not.
Oh, I know you talk about. Oh my god, because she was crying on Wildin' Out.
Azalea Banks. Yep.
That's
what she kind of reminds me of. Yeah.
But she more woke. She's more
woke, but I just mean like you're just talking about stuff that nobody asked you to like talk about.
That is true. That is
on
true.
your Instagram.
I can't say that because I be doing that too.
But you have but here's the difference. You have a platform. You're a host. You're not just on social media. That's one thing. Social media has made everyone feel entitled to their own opinions. Not that you can't be. We are technically are, but that doesn't mean that everyone wants to hear your opinions because you're not an expert.
Facts. That is facts. Social media messed up everything. It really, really messed up
so much.
People that you never heard from, like Boosie, now all of a sudden you hear from every day. It's just like, come on now. But I do think that Kelly, I don't know about Tiffany and whether or not you could get her on there, but I think Kelly would be a good character to follow. Even if you did a spinoff with just Lawrence, if he doesn't get back with Issa, maybe that's why it's so choppy too. Maybe these are the shows. Maybe these are the lanes.
That made me think about All American, how they now have like the All American Homecoming. They had like that whole episode to like show the branch.
Did you like the fact that they did that? Okay, I'm gonna leave it.
I actually think it's cute. I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. I might give it a try.
It's cute.
I'm gonna give it a try. But I did like the characters. See, that's the thing for me. Like I have to get invested in the characters. Like the new reboot of Gossip Girl. I hate it. I hate it so much that I wish they would have just left Gossip Girl, which has a cult following, obviously.
True.
Which I'm a part of, obviously, because I'm Blair in my mind. But everybody says I'm more like Serena, but whatever. But seriously, I hate it so much. Like, I wish you would have just left it alone. So some stuff I'm like, leave it be. Yeah.
I agree with that. 100%. Like, it's very little that you can have like lightning in a bottle, like the Cosbys did, because A Different World was a spinoff from the Cosbys, and that was a bomb ass show. Like,
That's true.
Most of the time, you're not gonna get that. It's gonna be something that get canceled, and it was like, I never needed this. That's like Blackish got all the spinoffs.
I was about to say, was Grownish successful?
It wasn't not successful, if that makes sense. I mean, it had a season or two, but I don't think Blackish had a purpose. It was to showcase Black issues in America. And then when you took it off of Blackish and then you made it Grownish, young people, we have a lot of, well, I'm not young no more. I'm fucking old. But young people have a lot of issues. But it's not the same. Like, it's just not the same. So that's why I think it didn't work.
Grownish is never one of those shows that I followed. You know how like you have your shows that like when it comes on, you're like, oh, Grownish is on. Let me tune into this. But I've never watched a full season through. It's not one of those shows.
I don't even know if I watched a full episode of
Grownish.
But
I got one last question I got to ask you. I never seen that one. Never saw that one. I just noticed this and I feel really, really slow. And as an Insecure fan, don't judge me.
Okay.
I didn't notice that every season, each episode has like themes. So like all the episodes, I'm so slow. No. Like I was like, oh shit. Like how did I miss that?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm dumb. Maybe I noticed it before and forgot, and I'm just like, oh, how did I miss this? So every episode's like, okay, pressure, okay. I'm like,
yeah, I think because Issa and all, like we said last week, they're so good. But do you think, before we leave, what are your thoughts? What do you think is going to happen? Is this episode, are we going to see Nathan take an exit, or is he going to stay on? What are your predictions for this next episode?
This next episode looks so wild and crazy and fun, which is, I think, what she was trying to do. Because again, we were saying episode 3 was very solemn. She wants to turn it up a notch. So I think this is just going to be one of those really, really fun episodes. But following the themes of this season, I think the end of the episode is when Issa's gonna realize, like, I'm having fun, but what else? What am I going home to? Am I gonna keep going home to Molly every night? Molly looks pretty cozy to cuddle up to, but she can't poke you, so
true.
I mean, she kind of could,
and that's not
whatever.
her thing, and that's not
Right.
Issa's thing. Like,
Exactly.
that's not what she wants. She
So
says she
I think
want
eventually
almond
she's gonna
joy.
realize, like, I'm having fun, but what else?
I agree with that. I think in this episode we're gonna see her have like that, like you said, an epiphany about okay, this is like I think she's supposed to be in her 30s in this.
Yeah, she is.
So-
She's supposed to be in her 30s.
So I think she's gonna have that epiphany that I think a lot of 30-year-olds have. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's fun, but I don't want to do this every day. Like, this,
Right.
This not for me. And I think there's gonna be a dope ass sex scene.
I'm surprised they went at the birthday
Sean.
party. You think that's where they were? Molly
Yeah.
and Issa?
Well, you know what? Now that you mention it, I was wondering where they were,
Me
but
too.
I guess because they don't have kids.
But they still were at the. I still feel like they would have been there though. They have to be on this trip, maybe.
You know what? That's probably what it is. They probably were on a trip, and that's why they weren't there. And I like how Kelly handled that when he was like, he was walking around. How is Issa? How is everybody that I hang around?
She said thriving in abundance. I wrote it down. I said, oh, they're thriving in abundance, flawless. I said, yes, bitch. That's like the friends I need. When an ex asks how I'm doing, oh, she's thriving in abundance. Yes.
Right. I love that.
No.
And I was like, yes.
No, when she kicked her cousin and he asked her, do you want smoke? She said, nigga, you know I'm already high. No, I paused it. I was like, hold up. Wait a minute. Kelly is stupid. Nigga, I did not expect her to say that.
I will say that the cousin, though, he's kind of attractive. He's pothead, but I could see that he was slightly attractive to me. I like a scruffy dude.
He was dead ass wrong for that. Like,
but it wasn't Peppa Pig.
Yo, you
It was
even try
Pepper.
he didn't even try to hide. Like, it's kids right next to you, bruh. Like,
But that's because he was Pepper, not Peppa. For copyright, Pepper with the
That's
hard er. He was
that
was the
funny.
Karen, the ning of pigs. But we will be back next week talking about episode 4 and what happened at this party, because I think it's about to go down, and my boy Ryan Davis is going to be on this, so this is going to be hilarious. So I can't wait to see it. Make sure you go to either Spotify, you can go to Apple, you can go to Anchor, you can go to any of the major podcasting platforms, and you can find Unsecured, and see, and well, you won't see it. You can hear it, okay? So you can hear it and listen to it. Make sure you download it and you subscribe to it. And we're on YouTube, so make sure you go, and if you want to watch it and you prefer to watch it, make sure you subscribe to the M.A.P.S Media channel so that you can watch each episode, because we only have a few left before we gonna be crying.
I know.
Now that we've come to the end. And I'm sorry.
And then we're going to have to find a new show to love, because
I like Love Life on HBO.
I haven't seen that one, so I have to check it out.
It's a 30-minute show.
Damn you 30-minute shows.
30-minute show. I like season 1 was alright, but season 2 they follow a black guy.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I like our shows. I'm thirsty, but I'll accept it.
I mean, I think Insecure should have been an hour, but I'll take
I know it's like a tease. I'll be like, God damn it.
as soon as you get into it, it's going off. But follow Love Life, because I think that's a good show as well. But that's it for us now. We'll be back. Make sure you also follow us as well. Follow myself, Leise Winnie, and Nerra. You want to give them your handle?
Oh yeah, if you like ratchet stuff, Nerra Muhammad, Nerra _Muhammad. If you want like clean, business savvy Nerra, it's iCar Queen.
There you go. See, you got options. Mine's just
Options.
Sophistiratchet.
Which Nerra do you want?
Yeah, it's Sophistiratchet on mine. You don't get no options. You get what I give you, but that's all we got. But we will be back again. Peace.
Peace.